The 2015 Mercedes-AMG A45 4MATIC. The hot rod class, known as the A45 AMG, has been around since 2013, and overall, it's been quite good. This year, the car receives an update, and Mercedes left nothing to chance in catapulting the 5-door to the top of the pile, infusing it with aerodynamic updates, state-of-the-art performance technology, and an absurd amount of power. It ticks all the right boxes, with stiff suspension, sport seats, oversized brakes, and aggressive looks. But as 2015 passes the halfway point, the battle for hot hatch supremacy seems to be reaching a boil. Pumped-up, teardrop-shaped commuters with an odd number of doors and loads of performance are popping up at a steady rate, with examples coming from Volkswagen, Ford, Honda and Mazda, among others. Of particular note is the new 2015 Audi 3 Rupees, with 367 horsepower, ousting the 360 horse A45 AMG for most powerful hatchback on the road. The new A45 is Merc's response, fulfilling the prophecy made by AMG boss Tobias Mowers when he proclaimed that the new car will be the most powerful again. Updated June 29, 2015, Mercedes dropped the official details on the facelifted A45 AMG. Continue reading to learn more about the Mercedes-Benz A45 AMG. Exterior. The A45 AMG may share most of the same visual cues as the normal A-Class, but I'm okay with that. To help differentiate the A45 AMG from its more conservative A-Class counterpart, Mercedes is throwing a catalog of aerodynamics at it, adding a good deal of visual flair in the process. The base model boasts excellent proportions and sporty styling, with a front end that's chunky and a profile that curves nicely around a gently sloped roofline. Around back, you'll find hatch access that's low and wide, with dual exhaust tips flanked by faux vents. However, to help differentiate the A45 AMG from its more conservative A-Class counterpart, Mercedes is throwing a catalog of aerodynamics at it, adding a good deal of visual flair in the process. The new front bumper design draws inspiration from motorsport, offering features normally associated with high downforce, including a 3-dimensional A-wing, canards on both flanks and enlarged intakes. Above this you'll find standard LED headlamps with eyebrow daytime running lights. The back is also decked out with a rear diffuser and a large spoiler mounted to the trailing roof edge. Mercedes says all these enhancements aren't just for show, they really do provide increased handling stability and balance. Side-by-side comparison. Interior. The interior of the A45 AMG is all about reminding its occupants of the prodigious power output at the driver's disposal. That means sheet upon sheet of carbon fiber overlay on the dash and behind the gauge cluster. There's also a grippy, multifunction sport steering wheel with a flat bottom, perforated leather, and red contrasting stitching. The interior of the A45 AMG is all about reminding its occupants of the prodigious power output at the driver's disposal. As expected, the seats are well bolstered, and feature seat cushion depth adjustments as standard to fit a wider range of body sizes. Leather upholstery covers most surfaces. The air vents are adorned with brushed metal and contrasting colors, and up front and center sits a good-sized navigation display screen. It's high-end build quality in a machine designed to be more affordable than the usual AMG suspects. For infotainment, customers can opt for Command Online with a WLAN module that offers extended functions like smartphone integration through Apple CarPlay and Mirror Link. Autonomous features include Collision Prevention Assist Plus, Traffic Sign Assist, and Attention Assist. Drivetrain. Audi's attempt at bringing superior firepower to the hot hatch segment with the 367 horsepower 3 Rupees was short-lived, as it seems like those AMG guys take this whole most powerful thing pretty seriously. The old A45 AMG brought 360 horsepower to the party, but to best Audi, Mercedes endowed the new model's turbocharged 4-cylinder engine with a stout 381 horsepower. That's an impressive 191 horsepower per liter, which allows Merc to once again claim the top spot. Max torque comes in at 350 pound-feet. This outrageous amount of muscle squirts the A45 AMG to 62 miles per hour in 4.2 seconds, almost half a second quicker than the last model. Max traction is provided by the standard all-wheel drive, which ranges between FWD only and a 50-50 front-to-back power distribution split. The old A45 AMG brought 360 horsepower to the party, but to best Audi, Mercedes endowed the new model's turbocharged four-cylinder engine with a stout 381 horsepower. Despite the increased output, the powerplant is still as green as before, consuming just 6.9 liters of fuel every 100 kilometers, or the equivalent of a little over 34 mpg. CO2 emissions are 162 grams per kilometer. Mercedes says the folks at AMG achieved this mainly through a newly configured valve assembly. The combustion cycle was optimized with reconfigured timing and turbocharging, while max boost pressure stays at 1.8 bars (26.1 psi). The exhaust system comes with an automatically controlled flange as standard, allowing the driver to select the preferred exhaust note at the touch of a button. This corresponds to a slew of different driving modes, a feature pulled from the 2016 Mercedes-AMG GT and 2015 Mercedes-AMG C63. It's called Dynamic Select, and it allows the driver the choose between Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus, and Individual modes that alter things like engine noise, gear changes, throttle response and traction control. The only mode of the four that requires explanation is the Individual mode, which can be pre-programmed with a variety of customized settings. There's also a sailing function that saves fuel in conjunction with the Eco Start/Stop system. To up the ante, Mercedes is offering a new optional package called AMG Dynamic Plus, which throws in several motorsport-inspired goodies. For example, there's a newly developed mechanical front axle locking differential, which significantly improves traction out of corners and should help to minimize power on understeer. The package also includes the AMG Ride Control Sport suspension, which offers fully automatic damping that adapts to the given road conditions. The driver can also pre-select basic damping characteristics in 2 stages for a custom ride. Anyone looking to get just the adaptive suspension without the entire Dynamic Plus package can select it as an individual option. Finally, the package also adds a 5th drive setting called Race. You can guess what that one's for. Speed-sensitive steering is another included electronic performance enhancer. This is automatically adjusted depending on which damper setting the driver has selected, either offering sharp response and a taut feel, or more relaxed input characteristics. The gearbox also sees a refresh. The AMG DCT 7-speed sport transmission now comes with lower ratios, with a shorter 3rd and 7th gear for quicker acceleration. Drivetrain specifications. Prices. Unfortunately, the A45 AMG won't make it to the US, but if you're reading this in Britain, then you're in luck. However, don't expect to get this vehicle cheap. Pricing is expected around £40,000, which in America money is $62,834 at current exchange rates 6/15. Then there's the option list, and well, you get the point. Competition. 2015 Audi 3 rupees. Reaching European dealerships this past March, the 3 rupees is every bit as handsome as the A45 AMG. In fact, to my eye, it actually looks better, with a solid design that appears much more serious and car-like than the swoopy Merc. With an upgraded 367 horsepower, 2.5-liter, 5-cylinder engine, the 3 rupees uses a 7-speed S-tronic transmission and the legendary Quattro all-wheel drive system to make a blitz to 62 miles per hour in just 4.3 seconds. Top speed is set at 150 miles per hour, but Audi says the limiter can be raised to 174 miles per hour upon request. The suspension system has been upgraded as well, with optional magnetic ride adaptive damper control and carbon ceramic brake discs. While not as flashy as the Mercedes, the Audi's cabin is just as comfortable, with Nappa leather and Alcantara upholstery spread throughout, plus standard bucket seats, MMI infotainment, and parking system plus. I think the Audi is as good as the Mercedes in pretty much every place it counts, but with a more mature attitude. The Merc may be more powerful, but it isn't a whole lot faster. Read our full review here. 2016 Volkswagen Golf R. At just £30,000, the new Golf R looks to be the hot hatch bargain buy of the year. With a turbocharged, 2.0-liter, four-cylinder engine producing 290 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque, plus the optional 6-speed DSG dual-clutch automatic transmission, this Super Golf can hit 60 miles per hour in under 5 seconds. If you were so inclined, you could even row your own with a 6-speed manual. Much like the Merc, there's permanent all-wheel drive, plus standard 18-inch alloys and oversized brakes in the front. The interior has leather, a 3-spoke sports steering wheel, and a navigation touchscreen, all with that characteristic VW fit and finish. It even gets good mileage, at a combined figure of 33 mpg. Read our full review here. Conclusion. The A45 is based on the pint-sized A-Class, the smallest Mercedes of them all, which represents the German marque's bid to reach past the six-figure, caviar and champagne types normally associated with a three-pointed star badge. Instead, the A-Class takes aim at a crowd that's a bit more broad. You know, the kind of people who own only one car, which they happen to drive themselves. But sometimes, that market segment wants speed. Gratuitous, butt-clenching, pinned-in-the-seat speed. These folks have a little bit more tucked away in the bank, and they're looking to blow it on a luxury ride that can kickstart the old adrenaline reserves. That's who this car is made for, and if you absolutely must have that Mercedes feeling, this is obviously the way to go. But in my eyes, the real problem with this car isn't the boy racer attitude or showy aerodynamic doodads, it's the price. For £40,000, there are a ton of competitors to choose from, and it's hard to not want something like the Volkswagen Golf R instead. Even at full spec, the VW is still significantly cheaper than the Mercedes, and while the AMG might be faster, I'm not convinced it's fast enough to justify the price discrepancy. And yes, the VW doesn't have the AMG cachet of the A45, but the Golf is still put together with excruciating attention to detail and finesse. At the end of the day, the A45 AMG is a great car, but in this segment, I don't think it's the best choice. Love it looks like a hot hatch should enormously powerful 4-banger AMG Mercedes swagger. Leave it very expensive might be too boy racer for some many other options to choose from spy shots. May 27, 2015 Mercedes A45 AMG testing in Germany.
If you liked this video, please share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.